Hi everyone, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, we had a fire on a cruise ship in Alaska, in probably the last place you would ever want some kind of thing that might hurt the environment. Absolutely the worst possible location in Alaska that you can think of. And then we have a story about P&O Cruise Lines and two passengers who were kicked off the cruise ship for a handicap. And I don't know where I stand on this one neither. So two passengers booked a cruise with P&O Cruise Lines through TUI, a travel agency who acted as the liaison between the passengers and the cruise line. Now what's different about these passengers is they are both traveling alone, they are both female, and they are both blind. And they booked a cruise through the company with P&O. TUI had asked them and told the P&O Cruise Line that they were traveling alone, that they were blind, and P&O responded by saying that most of their ships have braille menus as well as braille buttons on the elevators, and yeah, they were basically prepared for handling blind people's on their ship. Great. I've traveled with, some people on the Vlogger cruise on Norwegian Cruise Line. They're called the Blind Cruisers. They travel all over the place. I didn't think this is a big deal, but apparently once they get on board, they were told, sorry, they were handed a letter saying that this is a health and safety issue and that they will have to leave the ship. And they argued saying, well, why? We have a right to cruise just like everybody else. We're not causing a disturbance to anybody. We're cruisers. We live blind all our lives, and we want to travel. We're traveling. We arranged this ahead of time. In fact, P&O had told TUI that they would be given a tour of the ship, an escorted tour of the ship, so they can get accustomed to where different places are and know how to get there on their own, plus any services that they would need on board. Apparently, somebody forgot to tell the crew on, I believe it was the Ventura cruise ship for P&O, and they were told they had to get off. So forcefully, apparently, by the two ladies there, that they said, well, we at least need to go to the washroom. We've been on the ship for quite a while. Let us go to the washroom. They weren't even allowed to use the bathroom before getting off the ship. They were escorted off the ship, and they said they felt like criminals. And I say, yeah, well, you know what? If you're not even going to allow them to go to a public bathroom on your ship, yeah, you're treating them like criminals. What are they going to do? Hide in the bathroom till the ship sails? I don't understand that part of the story. Again, this is a one-sided story. We're not hearing from P&O on exactly what happened. However, they did respond when the TUI reached out to them, as well as some news coverages reached out to them asking what happened. And they said, we really want all of our guests to have an experience, and we're really sorry that they couldn't travel with us, but we will be issuing a full refund to the passengers. And here's the good part of this, as well as any travel expenses occurred. Which means if they had to fly in, if they had hotel stays, their meals, all that P&O should be covering. Because they were told they couldn't get on because of a handicap. And I've traveled with many people who are deaf, who are blind, people in wheelchairs, people who have breathing problems, people who have heart problems, people who have all kinds of problems. I didn't know this was a thing anymore. I didn't know cruise lines were having this issue, but apparently P&O had an issue with these guests and escorted them off the ship. I can understand, in a way, safety. You don't want people accidentally falling down stairs and things like that, or if the ship's rocking and everything, it's a lot different than on solid ground. However, if they can live on their own and get around on their own, I'm pretty sure they could probably get around on the cruise ship as well. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. Is this wrong? Do you think you understand? But they should have had some kind of accommodation somehow. Or it should have been basically told them up front, sorry, we cannot accommodate you on our ships. Before any of this even happened, it could have been stopped right there. All right, next story, unfortunately, but well, wait. Okay, I haven't done it in a while, but if you want to keep up to date with everything going on in cruising, from these kind of news stories to ship reviews to vlogs to all the new ships coming online that we have booked in the future, just hit that subscribe button with the notification bell on. It really does help the channel out, and I really do appreciate it. Okay, next we have that fire. There was a fire on a cruise ship. And yes, it's a cruise ship. It's called a cruise ship. The Wilderness Discoverer. And it is an uncruise. One of those small expedition ships that can get you really up close to the action. They have Zodiac boats on board for whale watching. They have kayaks, that kind of thing. It's an active cruise. It's not obviously the size of a full cruise ship like a Princess or Holland America or Royal Caribbean ship or Carnival. But these ships sail in and out of Glacier Bay, one of the most protected bodies of water and nature preserves in the world. And unfortunately, there was an engine fire on the ship around 7:30 a.m. Now, they immediately put out an SOS. They called the Coast Guard. 2 cutters and a helicopter were sent. And before long, the Sapphire Princess arrived on scene. She was scheduled to go into Glacier Bay. She arrived on scene, sent over a tender, and evacuated all of the passengers and most of the crew, except for about 10 or 11 who remained on board, waiting for a tugboat to get down and tug her back to Ketchikan. Now, the good news of all this story is no passengers were hurt, no crew members were hurt. It was a very orderly evacuation. The crew put the fire out immediately. It was located and generalized in the engine room. It did not spread to any other part of the ship. They did manage to put it under control really, really quickly, and by all accounts, from people who have gone on board and surveyors, there is no apparent oil leak or gas leak or any endangerment to the environment, which is great news. So no passengers were injured, no crew member injured, and no environmental impact because of the fire in the engine room. It was contained and no leakage into Glacier Bay, which is really, really good. And it's funny because you often wonder how many people can fit in those tenders on the cruise ships, right? You know, there's 6,000 people on board. Are there enough lifeboats? Well, it only took one tender to take everybody off that ship, and it wasn't even full. So they hold a lot, and it was really good that, you know, if you're going to get taken off a cruise, it's not too bad to get taken onto a luxury cruise ship like the Sapphire Princess. Now, it is owned by Uncruise, and they did say that they will be refunding all these passengers money back and are sorry for the experience. You can't ask for any more than that. This was not a planned breakdown. This was not anything, and there is now a current investigation going on as to the cause of the fire. So we will see what happens with that. But good job by the crew to contain that fire and make sure that both passengers and crew and the environment in Glacier Bay were protected. Well, I hope you appreciate this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button. Till next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.